Hey guys, I bring you this speech because I really want to start informing everyone, parents or bystanders, about the importance of keeping children, your children, children in general, rear-facing past the ages of 1 and until at least 2, as long as possible, really. Children are still in the phases of growing, so with that said, they really still need that support that rear-facing car seats provide on their necks and their heads to decrease the risks of injuries and fatalities induced by car crashes. Even with the worry that long-legged children may become uncomfortable from rear-facing, broken legs only require a cast, while a broken neck typically calls for a casket. And many children who are injured or die due to car crashes are usually from them prematurely forward-facing before their bodies are developed enough to do so. I do find this topic dear to my heart because I have children, I have nieces, I have cousins. What we learn is that children are our future, and with car crashing being the #1 thing that is bringing fatalities to our children, we really want to nip that in the bud. And with this information that I am going to give to you, you're going to have all the tools that you need to not only save your own children, but your sister's children, your brother's children, your friend's children, children in general. Babies and toddlers are not yet developed enough to withstand any type of collisions in the car, especially if they're forward-facing. Here we have a photo that Tim White has provided showing the vertebrae of a 1-year-old and a 6-year-old and the different ways of how it's developed. In the 1-year-old, you could see that there is no complete ossification. And what I mean by ossification, I mean the bone has not fully completed. There is still cartilage keeping the vertebrae together. As where in the 6-year-old, you could see that it is fully complete. There's no cartilage keeping the bone together. It is just a full-on bone. And due to the bones not being fully developed, children have no control over their bodies, especially if they're in a car crash. They have no way of reacting to a car crash as how, say, an adult with fully developed bones and muscles would react. In 2008, we have Joel here. He was 18 months and weighed 33 pounds. It would appear that he is at a weight where he would safely be turned forward-facing in a car seat. Though, because we know that his bones are not fully developed at his 18 months of age, we know that that is not true. Joel and his mother were faced with a horrible car crash. This car crash made Joel throw his arms all about, his neck forward, and it actually resulted in his neck snapping. And his arms and legs were so bruised that he could not move them. Joel had the fortunate fate of having good doctors and some type of miracle because they were able to amend his neck and they didn't see anything wrong with his spine. His spine was fully intact. And even though Joel had to go through physical therapy, to regain the movements of his limbs and be able to learn how to move his neck again the way he used to, he was very lucky. It is rare that a baby at his age and development to actually survive a crash like that. If Joel would have been rear-faced, he would have been much safer because the rear-facing car seats actually cradle the head and neck, reducing neck snaps, spine breaks, and even fatalities. According to Car Seat for the Littles, the rear-facing car seat actually creates like a shell-shaped space that holds the child's head and their neck and their spine. This actually diffuses the impact of a car crash on the child. Even Injury Prevention Journal states that rear-facing car seats have a 90% effectiveness of keeping child passengers safe during a crash. Even Injury Prevention Journal states that rear-facing car seats have a 90% effectiveness of keeping child passengers safe during a crash, while forward-facing babies and toddlers actually had a significant increase in risk of injury during a car crash. While forward-facing babies and toddlers actually had a significant increase in risk of injury during a car crash. It seems like it has become a tradition for parents to get rid of their infant car seat as soon as their child grows out of it and jump to a forward-facing car seat. What they may not know is that there's actually car seats made for bigger babies so that they can rear face. It goes up to at least 55 pounds. One reason I typically hear that parents are deterred away from keeping their child rear facing because the seats can get a little pricey. And while I can agree that there is a lot of seats that are meant to grow your child that are pricey, I have good news. Stores like Walmart and Target actually provide these type of seats that are under $100. I actually got mine for about $30 at Walmart. And if that doesn't help you and it still seems like a bit much, there's always salvations and churches that are out there to help people like yourself to provide these car seats that are the safest for your child to have. And if you're still worried about your child's long legs and being uncomfortable rear facing, think about it. The third trimester of your pregnancy, your child was somehow fitting its 6 to 8 pound body inside your womb. And when they were born, babies, they probably snacked a lot on their feet. Children are very flexible. We know this. So don't worry about that. Your child will find what's most comfortable to them, and they will adjust their legs so that they aren't uncomfortable and they'll be safe while they're doing it. As previously mentioned, the youth is our future. It is human nature for us to want to keep our children safe, to keep children in general safe. It is normal to think that and to want that. If a difference can be made where the risk of death to children can be lowered, it needs to be done. And children have the rest of their lives to face forward in a car. So it's okay for them to rear face for the first few years of their life until their bone structure has fully developed. Furthermore, there will be a significant drop in child deaths due to car crashes if we all just rear face our children past 1. So in the name of providing safety for our children, turn your infants and toddlers back to rear facing, and let's eliminate the fears that forward facing induces into our brains as far as risk of injury and fatalities in our children. Okay. And thank you so much for listening.